Good evening to everybody watching this video. This is Wild Rocket here with you from Japan, and today I would like to present a very special video on an issue which is very important to me and which is a very vital factor in our community and society at large, and that's the issue of depression. But more specifically than that, this video is about how I personally healed myself of depression, 5 essential steps that I took in order to overcome many of the psychological disorders which I was facing in previous lives, and how I not only healed myself but also thrived and began to live an abundant lifestyle. I began to travel, to have more energy, feel better, spend more time during the day doing the things I loved with more confidence, appreciating life more. And I really hope that this video will, that anyone watching this video will derive a little bit of inspiration from it. I think it's a very important issue because so many of us are suffering from depression. We all know somebody, family, friends who have suffered or are suffering from some form of psychological disorder. It's so widespread in our society, and even though we do live in a world where, and we do live as human beings with the capacity to feel emotions such as fear and anger and sadness, these are only very small percentages of what we are as infinite multidimensional beings. You know, these voices may exist in us or may pass through us, but they are temporary because they do not build. Depression and anger and hatred and jealousy, these are energy depleting. They break down the being, whereas love, kindness, compassion, they build the being. So even though both exist within each other, different frequencies have different effects on us, on our day-to-day lives. So I will go through the 5 steps. I wrote these on flashcards, the 5 steps, the 5 things that I did to heal myself from depression. And I will go through these very briefly, so that whoever's watching this can derive some inspiration from it without getting too lost in excessive amounts of information, without getting lost in too much information. The first principle is a declaration of life and love. This was absolutely essential for me in my healing. Sitting down with a pen and paper, it's a very simple exercise, and writing a series of sentences, each sentence beginning with the 2 words I am. And after these 2 words, I would put I am a magician, I am an alchemist. To give you more examples from my own personal declarations, which I wrote 6 months ago and a year ago, just before I came here and in the aftermath after my awakening. I am a magician, I am the most important source of inspiration for myself. I am an alchemist, and I do not allow external events to govern my internal condition. I am love. I love myself, and I accept myself 100% with all my unique traits. I accept myself 100% with all my unique traits, without any exception. It may seem so simple, but this exercise of writing down a declaration, each sentence beginning with I am, is extremely powerful because the body is infinitely intelligent. The words that you speak, once repeated, become internalized by the subconscious body without you even knowing it. You'll be amazed and how intelligent your body is. I also did this by, at the beginning, by really paying attention in front of a mirror to the movement of my lips, to the way my eyes looked when I looked myself directly in the eye. And this really helped build massive amounts of confidence in me, and it really helped me move from a state of not loving myself or not believing in myself to believing anything is possible. I just for example, my presence here in Japan, even though I've wanted to go to Japan since I was a very young boy, for many years I never really took any concrete steps towards that goal because I told myself I wasn't good enough, I wasn't worthy enough, all these beliefs which you tell yourself which have no truth at all. Once you begin to change what those beliefs are, once you begin to change how you articulate them in your heart, in your mind, but also in your heart as well, because once you start to speak these words, once you start to believe them and they become internalized in the heart, you move beyond the intellectual and you move to the heart space. So I'm a magician, I'm an alchemist, I love myself 100%. Some examples from my own declaration. This has been absolutely essential in my healing, making a declaration. I still read my declaration sometimes. What I also did for the first year after my awakening was I basically kept that piece of paper with me in my pocket or in my wallet, and I would read it everywhere. You know, if I was visiting relatives' house, if I was going to a restaurant with my mum, if I was going out shopping, whatever I happened to be doing, whenever there was any free moments, I would take out this piece of paper and I would read these declarations to myself. Even if sometimes I would do it silently, but oftentimes I would do it out loud, even if there were people around me listening. Again, this is really a cool thing to do. If you can practice speaking to yourself in public and not be concerned and let go of what others may think of you, that alone helps setting aside the exercise of the declaration to begin with. So that's the first step. The second step, very simple but very powerful: fruits and vegetables. Once I started to take a look at what I was putting in my mouth, once I stopped eating pizza and chicken kebabs and chicken curries, and I started researching foods that would help me become more loving, more kind, and more energetic and a better human being, my life started to improve immensely. Once I started to eat foods which I knew were resonating with me before I even knew that I was becoming more health conscious, that really helped me. Carrots, I personally love the leafy greens because since I was a young boy, even before I could really articulate it, I was always drawn to nature and the grass and the trees. Fruits, strawberries, bananas. Drinking coconut water, extremely high in potassium, great for post-workout, for sustained energy throughout the day. Once I started to replace rice meals, bread meals, pasta meals with and pizza meals with salad as my main meal, that really started to improve my life. Once I started to let go of the myth that we need a lot of protein in our diets. Yes, we do need some protein, but we don't need that much. We need minerals, we need vitamins, we need enzymes. We need to eat in a way in which we absorb the enzymes and minerals from our food in the most efficient manner. But we don't really need nutrition, we just need energy, we need love, and food is one step towards that. And also looking at what we're doing while we're eating. I used to watch a lot of American TV shows when I was a teenager and early adulthood. I used to watch shows like Family Guy and South Park and shows like that basically. And there's nothing wrong with those TV shows, there's nothing good or inherently good or bad about them. It's just we have to ask ourselves, are they emanating from a frequency that can help us? Or are they coming from a capitalist system which is draining us of empowerment? once I started to stop watching shows which celebrated and made jokes of the lower natures of man, and started to watch and listen to more inspiring sources of media and entertainment, such as funny videos, comedy videos, which celebrate the goodness of man, which talk about education topics like psychology, which contain interviews with political activists who are doing amazing work, helping people in dire need in the Middle East. Once I started to change what I was doing while I was eating, and eat more slowly and more consciously, with more love and appreciation for what I was eating, that, as well as what I was eating, that really helped me. Researching information on plant-based raw foods and eating a predominantly 98% raw food diet has helped me immensely in healing myself of depression. So fruits and vegetables, number 2. Number 3, time spent in nature. This is so important and so simple, but again so fundamental, because we as beings, at least in a Western sort of industrialized society, have become increasingly disconnected from the natural oxygen and the natural cycles and seasons of nature, of the plants, of the trees, of the universe. And it varies. I mean, again, all of these things that I speak of, I'm speaking them because I have applied them extensively. I have used them a lot in my own life. Time spent in nature. You know, in the winter it would maybe only be an hour, half an hour, an hour, but now I'm in spring here, so I'm starting to spend more and more time in nature. And by doing so, by breathing in that fresh oxygen, by being one and observing the natural cycles of your environment, and feeling, you know, being aware of the sounds of all that surround you, of being with that freshness of nature. That this simple exercise, and doing it for as much as you can every single day, preferably when there is sunlight, because we are sun-based beings. You know, we derive vitamin D from the sun, but really that's food. You know, we're like plants. You know, plants need sunlight to convert sun into energy so they can sustain themselves. We are very similar. We are not plants, but we are similar in that we require sunlight for optimum energy. Yes, we can go many months without sunlight. Yes, we can survive and live good lives without sunlight if we take care of ourselves in other areas. But having said that, sunlight, something as simple as getting more sunlight out in nature, at least for me, has enormously helped in my healing from depression, from schizophrenia, from bipolar. Time in nature. Number 4, self-love. Self-love, absolutely instrumental. Let's say you're a teenager. You're discovering your body for the first time, and through that you're discovering the opposite sex or the same sex for the first time. You know, you're discovering the sexuality of human beings in general for the first time, which, you know, even though our society does not like to talk about it, the majority of teenagers actually experience sexual urges, not just for the opposite sex, but for both sexes. And actually, the body, the sexuality is so rooted in the heart and the body that it doesn't really distinguish between men and women. It's the brain and the intellect and the conditioning that distinguishes that, but the body does not. Anyway, that's a whole video in and of itself. But let's say you're a teenager and you're discovering the sexuality of those around you for the first time, and you really want to get in a relationship. You want a boyfriend and girlfriend, and you really want to have the best relationship ever. Many relationships don't succeed because two people are looking for are looking for something that they feel is missing in themselves on the other, and they end up depending on the other person. But once you spend time going within and accepting and loving yourself and embracing all your traits, your positive traits, your negative traits, and you start to really accept yourself for who you are throughout all your phases and with all your unique features, that's when you really start to begin to have an amazing life. That's when, let's say you're a teenager and you're watching this, that's when you really start to have the most amazing relationships, because you enjoy and you love and you adore the other person's company. You see them as a beautiful cosmic reflection they are of yourself, while at the same time loving and embracing their expansion and their love energy as you embrace your love energy, without depending on them, but embracing them and embracing relationships as an evolution. So self-love is absolutely important, not just for you to be happy and to have energy and to be able to do all the things that you want to do, but also to be able to love other people unconditionally and to have the most amazing relationships on this planet. It starts within. It starts with self-love. Learning to love myself more and accept myself has immeasurably improved the quality of my life. Number 5, meditation. Now, meditation is, we're told is something that's really only for the enlightened, or the gurus, or the Buddhas, or the Jesuses, or the Muhammads of the world. But meditation is not sitting under a tree and engaging in some kind of exercise, some kind of very difficult exercise. It can be that, but meditation is simply, at least for me, is simply being aware of what's going on inside, not just your thoughts, paying attention to your thoughts, but also your body, the pattern of the breath, the rhythm of the breath. For example, something as simple as simply being aware of your breathing and how deeply you breathe, how long you breathe in, how long you hold your breath, how long you breathe out. Being aware of the different voices and the sensations that your body feels, and taking time to really feel and allow every voice and urge and personality that comes from within you to blossom, to really have its full say in your body. To do that unconditionally. Again, you can meditate through writing, you can meditate through art, you can meditate through washing the dishes. Meditation can be anything, but for me the basis of meditation is simply awareness of your feelings, awareness of your body, bodily awareness, awareness of your mind, of the thoughts going through your mind, of the sensations that you feel, being aware of them and really feeling where they are in your body and where they manifest and giving them a full expression. That has been very, very powerful in my healing. Meditation, bodily awareness. So this has been my video on depression and healing and the steps which have helped me along my journey. Everything that I've said has all come from my personal perspective, from my personal point of view. All these steps that I've talked about, I'm talking about because I have used them a lot and extensively in my own life. Everyone's journey is different, but my hope and my intent is that I can contribute to the raising of the good energies of the universe, and to just to bring a smile to the hearts of anyone who might be watching this. So thank you for tuning in and for watching this video. This has been Wild Rocket, Bashir, with you from Japan, from the universe. from wherever I happen to be at any given time. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day wherever you are. Take wonderful care of yourselves and never, never stop believing and embracing yourselves. Take care.